What's on, everyone? Jeremy here from The Quartering, and I wanted to bring this to everyone's attention because it is a massive ripoff. Did you know that McDonald's and other fast food places have a not so secret system of charging you nearly double the price if you use their apps or any other apps, up to 71.1% more expensive? This is one of the biggest scams that, like, I just feel like I need to keep reporting on it because people need to know about it. Yes, fast food has gotten out of control expensive, and it's hard to deny that. But sometimes it's just all that's available for you. Sometimes you're at work, sometimes you're traveling, sometimes you don't want to take an hour at a sit-down meal. You just want to get your burger and fries and get on the go. Well, might I suggest Steak and Shake? But anyway, the only Steak and Shake I have is like on the southern border of Wisconsin in Gurnee. And every time I drive there, I stop there. I love Steak and Shake, and they turn out to be really based. But anyway, turns out they are ripping customers off and charging as much as 71% more when you use these apps. So let's take a look at this. By the way, you know who doesn't do that? My company, Coffee Brand Coffee. If you drink coffee, we are not some dropship YouTuber garbage coffee. We roast ours fresh on demand. That's why it's hard to keep in stock on Amazon, because we want to keep only the freshest stuff there. And we have our summer flavor, blackberries and cream. We have our fall flavors out, our spiked jack-o'-lantern, which is so good, our maple cream. We have everything in K-cups, butterscotch toffee, dark roast, decaffeinated, our light roast Ethiopian. Everything is there with free next day shipping. Link in the description down below. Hopefully you'll give us a try. And if you have, make sure to navigate back to the item you bought and scroll down and leave a product review. Scroll down a little bit and write a customer review. Look at all these awesome reviews that we have. Again, we have 1,400 reviews with a 4.7 out of 5. Like, people love our coffee, and I know you will too if you give it a try. McDonald's has an Uber Eats and DoorDash problem. They're letting these companies rip you off. Listen to this.
Peloton.
Nope, that's about Peloton. We don't care about that. When people complain about the price of eating McDonald's, that's usually a sign that the economy has some weakness. Over the past year or so, McDonald's prices have been social media memes with people posting outrageous prices for value meals and other items. Usually, those high prices tend to be non-traditional locations. My son, for example, had to downgrade his Chicken McNugget combo meal from a 10-piece to a 6-piece earlier this year when a $20 bill did not cover the cost. In that case, however, we were in an airport, and while the price was high, all airport prices are high. By the way, Dad, why wouldn't you just help your son out and give him the extra $3 so he can get those 4 extra nuggets? 6 nuggets isn't enough. Anyway, the chain's leadership, however, has also admitted that the price and values are issues at its regular restaurants and has taken steps to address value. McDonald's CEO Christopher Kempis literally opened up the company's second quarter earnings call talking about value. In the second quarter, McDonald's delivered a global system-wide sales growth of over 6% and constant currency global comparable growth of nearly 4%. This includes driving positive comparable guest counts globally despite a challenging backdrop for the industry. In this landscape, the power of McDonald's value and affordability platforms, exciting marketing, and menu offerings, and world-class execution are working together to drive comparable sales results and guest count growth as we also accelerate new restaurant development. He returned to the theme many times during the call, but he never addressed the hidden cost of ordering McDonald's. Now, you might be asking, why are you blaming McDonald's for this? Well, it's because they're allowing these apps to rip us all off. McDonald's could very easily not allow this, but they don't. McDonald's does not share what percentage of its sales are in-store, picked up, or delivered. I'm going to guess that more than 50% of their sales are delivery nowadays. That's a complete wild guess, but it's not like families are gathering to eat inside a McDonald's anymore. They used to, but that's not really something that happens in the modern era. It also does not ever talk about the fact that delivery partners, including Uber Eats and Grubhub, mark up the cost of your meal. Self Financial recently repeated a study that was first conducted in 2023 to show how much the price of food delivery change across the United States when using different apps. The study found that delivering the same food varied as much as $33 among 100 cities analyzed. So understand that you are getting ripped off. That not only are these apps charging you a delivery fee, okay? Not only are they charging a delivery fee, but they're charging you a hidden markup on the food itself, and it's astronomical. DoorDash, for example, which is an app I deleted from my phone after reading this, was found to be the most expensive food delivery app in the United States, costing $63.21 for an order that costs just $36 at a restaurant. That's a 71.1% markup. That does not include the delivery fee or the tip you have to give to the driver, as far as I understood. Now, McDonald's does not control the delivery fees of its partners, but it could. It absolutely could. Uber Eats had a slightly lower markup of just 70%, followed by Grubhub at 66%, meaning these two apps are your best option ordering food with no offers or codes implemented. Are you joking? Are you joking? If after this video you're still using Grubhub or DoorDash or Uber Eats, you're a lunatic. You're willing to pay 70% more for your food? 70% more. It's effectively double. DoorDash and Grubhub and Uber Eats are doubling the cost of your order, and they're demanding you tip their driver, and they're demanding you pay delivery fee. There is, however, some good news. Oh, okay, let's look at. When they ran the original study in 2023, they found the average markup between McDonald's food and the order was only 94%. So in the recent study, although prices had increased, the markup decreased to only 70%. So in 2023, they were marking up a quarter pounder order through DoorDash. They were doubling the cost. Doubling it. While that's sort of positive for McDonald's customers, that decrease likely does not carry over to many restaurants. As this analysis focused exclusively on McDonald's, the data should be reviewed and kept that in mind. McDonald's is a large corporation that can afford to keep its markup lower than smaller businesses. Consequently, the price increase for a local independent restaurant, for example, may be even higher. Or if they're running a promotion, it may be lower. In 2025, the average order cost of McDonald's was $36.95 directly from McDonald's restaurants, a 23.7% increase in just 2 years. So it's already 25% more expensive in the store. On average $62.36 when delivered via third-party apps, a 7.8% increase since 2023. DoorDash is the most expensive food delivery app, costing $63.21, 71.1% higher than buying directly from McDonald's. Uber Eats, second most expensive, at $62. Gilbert, Arizona is still the most expensive city for food delivery apps, $90 when the food costs $45. New Orleans has the highest price difference, 240% between buying directly from McDonald's compared to food delivery apps. $20 inside of McDonald's, $70 using their apps. So they're secretly marking prices up nearly 240% in some cities. 240%. Anchorage, Alaska is the city with the most expensive Big Macs, $15.80. And Phoenix, Arizona, Albuquerque, New Mexico, and Bakersfield have the cheapest Big Macs at $4.69. So a Big Mac is more than $11 more expensive in Anchorage than it is in Albuquerque or Bakersfield, California. That's absolute bonkers, crazy sauce. When we get our value proposition right and execute with excellence, good performance follows. Well, I mean, this is crazy. You need to stop using these apps, or like McDonald's needs to say, you can't double the price. And maybe these apps are going to say, hey, well, then we're not going to sell McDonald's. Well, then maybe that's a good thing. Like, I don't know. You guys would have to tell me. I've never delivered DoorDash, but I'm sure that some of my viewers have. Like, you don't get that money, right? DoorDash is just taking that money. I don't think the drivers are making $40 an order. I know this because if I don't tip enough, they just chuck my food on the ground. Fast food used to be cheap. Why has that changed? Well, it's because of the lockdowns. And they just jacked up the prices on everybody. And they just figured, oh, we can actually, well, let's see how far we can push this. And that's exactly what they did. Breakfast sales across the fast food sector have seen declines. The leaders of McDonald's and Wendy's said in earnings calls in early August, families are reevaluating whether the quick trip to drive-thru is even worth the price too. And experts told that to USA Today. In response, some chains are adjusting prices, but with Americans once again feeling the effects of inflation, I don't know about that. It's unclear whether the moves will be enough to bring back customers anytime soon. I mean, McDonald's, for example, is supposed to be an inexpensive treat or a cheap fast food fix. It is now a relatively expensive purchase, especially for a family, Saunders told USA Today. Many don't think it's worth the money, so they cut back on dining there. Restaurants are responding by offering deals. Pizza Hut recently added a $2 personal pan pizza on Tuesdays, which became so popular during its original promotion in July that it was extended to August. Well, they're not making any money on that. I don't know. Pizza Hut's probably the worst of the chain pizzas. So I don't know that I would, be super pumped about getting any price personal pan. But anyway, 95% of McDonald's restaurants are run by franchise owners who ultimately make the pricing decisions for their own locations after McDonald's simply offers suggestions. But franchisees can vote on certain price points or national campaigns. I mean, the prices of this stuff has gotten out of control, completely out of control. And, I'm hoping more Americans just continue to say no. Cook at home, it's healthier anyway. Or choose an option of a restaurant that doesn't want to rip you off. That would probably be a good idea too. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure you leave a like on it. If you haven't yet, please subscribe or follow down below. And we'll talk to you again real soon.